The Lion and the Eagle is a new series on AfterShock Comics. It is a war period piece that takes place in 1944 as we follow the British Special Forces known as the CHINDITS into battle through Burma to try to regain their foothold against their enemies, the Japanese. What's up everybody, Trinity here. Welcome back to the Second Street Marvel for today's comic book review. Now before we get into this comic book review, make sure that you like this video, leave some comments down in the comments below, share it out with all your friends and all of that good stuff, and make sure you stay to the end where I'm going to talk about a giveaway that I'm going to be doing for this and some upcoming videos. As I was saying, The Lion and the Eagle is this new series on AfterShock Comics, and they do them in these one-shot formats where they do these larger magazine size format books, and they are square bound, and they are very nice. And this particular series is $7.99, and this one is not one of the one-shots. It's actually a mini series that they have planned. I believe it's 5 issues. I could be wrong there. I really like this format that they do with these books, this kind of oversized format here, especially with a book like this. This book is created by Garth, Ennis, and PJ Holden. And Garth Ennis is the writer and PJ Holden is the artist. Milla is the color artist, and we got Rob Steen on letters. The way Garth Ennis writes, I haven't read a whole lot of his stuff, but he is obviously one of the great current comic book writers out there for reasons like this, and he has a knack for telling these kinds of stories from what I've been told. As I said, I haven't read a whole lot of his work. We get into this story and we get introduced to these characters in such a natural way that the story unfolds. We first start off where we meet Colonel Keith Crosby, and he is there talking to one of their allies in the Chinese. And they are kind of talking about what is going on there with the war, and they're discussing some of their battle tactics and things like that, as we also see Keith Crosby kind of explaining what his forces are, this special unit known as the CHINDITS, and which is basically, like as I said earlier, made up of mostly Indian soldiers with some Indian officers, but mostly British officers who are commanding them. And we see them kind of talking about some of the tactics and things they are getting ready to do to go into Burma and try to regain their foothold there. And the conversation here is really good, and you can kind of get some insight into exactly why the Chinese, this particular Chinese colonel is going into this war, kind of a little bit of his perspective, as we see the British officer here, Keith Crosby, kind of talking about his forces as well. And he mentions some of his soldiers as well, called the Gurkhas, but we don't really get any of that in this first issue. And again, the way this story unfolds, it's just really great. This story seems really good. These characters don't seem like characters of somebody in real life. The conversations seem real, the situations seem very real, and then the way the characters are introduced, as we get introduced to our next character, Dr. Alistair Whittemore, and we kind of get just some story about him and a little bit of his background and how him and Colonel Keith Crosby get along and their relationship, and how they were actually in battle there in Burma just 2 years earlier, as they were making this long haul out of there. And we get a little bit of that backstory in here as well, kind of how these two characters met, and kind of really getting into why these two characters are in this situation where they are now in the war, aside from obviously being officers and doctors there in the military during World War II. But kind of seeing where they're at and their history with it is absolutely great, great stuff that we're getting out of this book. And then we get a little bit of, as I said, a little bit of a setup as they are getting ready to march back into Burma, and a little bit of their strategies as they're going to kind of go in behind the Japanese and try to give them a surprise attack. And again, the way this whole story unfolds is really great, and you can see in this book just like the colors, even, you know, the lettering work and everything done in this book is absolutely great. And the way just Garth Ennis tells this story is great. And this is a book I definitely recommend that you check out. For one, if you're a fan of Garth Ennis, and two, if you like a good war period piece. Like I said, man, this one's really, really good. Garth Ennis doing a really great job here. And again, I've never read a whole lot of Garth Ennis work, but obviously he's known for like, you know, everybody talks and rants and raves about his Punisher Max series, one that I haven't personally read, but I can clearly see from reading this book right here and some of the other things that I have read by him that his storytelling is just really great in the way the characterization of the characters and getting introduced to him. You really do kind of feel the characters kind of coming alive throughout these books, and the kind of feeling and emotions that they have here expressed. This art in this book is absolutely great. But I want to know from you, have you read The Lion and the Eagle? And if not, why not? Does it sound like something that you might be into? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. Okay, now as I said at the beginning of this video, I am going to be doing a giveaway here on the channel very soon. Now what I've got here that I am going to be giving away is this copy right here of The Lion and the Eagle issue #1. This is the Mike Ruth variant. This is the AfterShock Happy Hour exclusive. AfterShock Comics does these happy hour sales, not necessarily every Thursday, but about every other Thursday on their YouTube channel. I believe you can follow them on Facebook. They do it there as well, where they go through and they talk about some of the new comic books that are out. Ruth Ann Thompson gets on there and will interview some of the different artists and creators of the books. And they get on there and they also do some of these sales, and they have some really great things on there. But I am going to be doing a giveaway for this one right here that I will give away after this whole series has come out, giving you more chances to get entered into this. Now, to get entered into this giveaway, all you have to do is be subscribed to the channel and leave a comment down in this video, either about this comic book, just about what you think about this video, what you think about this book. Just leave a comment down there. And most of all, the greatest thing you could also do as well is share this video out there. Give it a like to get more eyes on it, and I greatly appreciate that. Now, those aren't things that you have to do to get entered, you know, liking the video. You can dislike it as well. It's okay. It's okay. You're not gonna hurt my feelings if you do that. But you know, at least leave a comment down in the comments below to get entered into this. And of course, you do have to be a resident of the United States for this, just for the shipping and everything. You know, to get this overseas for just this single book would be it might be a little bit ridiculous. Thank you all so much for being here today. Again, my name is Trinity. Thank you all so much for being here on the 2nd Street Marvel and watching this comic book review. Now, this video is brought to you ad-free by our members, the Myrtle Maniacs, who with their channel memberships help fund some of the content here on this channel. We put some of that money from the channel memberships into going out and crowdfunding comic books, but you can learn a little bit more about becoming a channel member in the links down in the description of this video. Thank you all so much for being here today. You all have a very good day. Go out and read some awesome comic books like The Lion and the Eagle, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.